Zambia, where the Electoral Commission has appealed to political leaders to desist from violence ahead of the polls on Thursday. Supporters of the ruling Patriotic Front and opposition parties clashed in the capital Lusaka on Monday evening. Last month, the Commission was forced to suspend campaigning for 10 days due to escalating unrest. The build-up to Thursday's polls has been marred by unprecedented levels of violence. The country's Electoral Commission and the African Union Observer Mission have warned political leaders that Zambia's record of peaceful elections is on the line.
Fellow countrymen and women, peace, once lost in a nation, is almost impossible to regain. Therefore, I'm making a passionate appeal to you all to uphold our country's peace in these final hours of the campaigns, on and after Election Day. The Commission would not want to end campaigns before the official close on the 10th of August at 18 hours.
Let's get more details from CCTV's Farai Makutuya, who's live for us in Zambia's capital, Lusaka. Farai, it's just 2 days to the polls now. Just how serious are those concerns over violence ahead of Election Day?
Well, Panina, it is very worrying, and particularly for those authorities, because their fear is, with violence on the eve of the elections, it may scare away voters from coming to cast their ballots and therefore affect voter turnout. But it will also have bigger implications, potentially tarnishing Zambia's glowing reputation for democracy and for peaceful elections. And so because of that, it is quite worrying, and that's why the ECZ was so strong in its comments today. Panina.
Farai, the country will also be holding a referendum alongside the elections. How has that played out throughout the campaigns? How much attention is being paid to the referendum issues?
Well, Panina, I think as is natural in any election season, politicians tend to dominate and take center stage, and that's exactly what's happened here, effectively overshadowing, discussion and debate around this very important document that, guarantees rights for all citizens of this country. Many here feel that not enough has been done to educate them and sensitize them about it. And earlier I had an opportunity to speak to some ordinary people who, told me their concerns. And this next story illustrates just the challenges that have been faced in getting information to the people about this referendum.
In a bid to save money, the Zambian government fast-tracked the referendum to coincide with the elections. But there are concerns that combining the two votes could stifle voices.
So right now, there's no real referendum debate going around. What we have really is a campaign by the government for a yes vote, and everybody else is campaigning for boycott of the referendum. It looks that the referendum is a highly partisan affair.
Critics say there hasn't been nearly enough voter education, claims the Electoral Commission has refuted.
I can say that for the Commission, we have done our part, and we also expect that civil society would help us in terms of conducting publicity and voter education.
I decided to put ordinary citizens' knowledge to the test.
I know nothing about it. I've just heard that it is part of the election which are coming. Yeah, because the government have not sensitized us, they have not talked about it.
On social media, it's been really vast. There are all these posts, sponsored posts, which can reach everyone, and they're able to see that. But what about those people that are in the rural areas? I think that's my major concern. So referendum sensitization hasn't been well done.
It is about our rights as Zambians, human rights. So once I say yes, it means those rights now will be in our new constitution. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm voting yes.
Do you know what is in the referendum and what you're voting?
The referendum is to vote about voting, and what we want is peace, and also want people to vote nicely.
That last answer adds credence to those who have misgivings, but it also highlights an issue that's dominated the build-up to this election, and that's the level of violence.
Following clashes in the capital earlier this week, the Electoral Commission implored political leaders to rein in their supporters. Farai Makutuya, CCTV, Lusaka, Zambia.
Now, Farai, analysts predict a tight race between the main contenders in the presidential race. What are the issues shaping up this election?
Well, Penina, just over a year and a half ago, Edgar Lungu beat Hakainde Hichilema by just over 28,000 votes, or 2 percentage points. And if you thought that was close, this race is likely to be even closer. What's happened between then and now is that a number of top PF officials and Edgar Lungu allies have crossed the floor and have now joined the UPND, and that's likely to shift some votes that way. But on its own part, the ruling PF continues to talk about its achievements, particularly in infrastructure development, in energy projects, and is talking about its capacity to do those things, but more importantly, its capacity to do even more if it's given another 5-year mandate. So it's pretty hard to tell, anything, to show any difference between these two at this stage. And even if you look, at their rallies, the numbers that are turning up are more or less the same. And you talked about analysts. I've spoken to a number of analysts. I've spoken to political pundits here. And the one thing they are unanimous about is the fact that this race is too tight to call. Penina.
All right. Farai Makutuya, live for us there in Lusaka. Many thanks, Farai.